So moving ahead, the next session is on the textbook companion project and the lab migration project, which we tell is an amazing source of FOSSEE Scilab activity. So let me share my screen. I and my colleague Rashmi will be exploring through this and will tell you the benefits, how you can use this as a resource, and also how you can contribute to these activities. So yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, my name you already know is Vinita, and I'm the project manager of FOSSEE, and I'll be talking about how textbook companion could be an amazing resource for all the students and faculty members present here. So let me start. So what I'm going to talk about is what exactly is Scilab Textbook Companion. You have been listening to Textbook Companion from Subbalakshmi ma'am, Textbook Companion from Professor Kannan. So I'll tell you what exactly it is. What are the features of the Textbook Companion? I'll refer it as a TBC. That's the short form which we use for Textbook Companion. Then I'll tell you how to contribute and what are the benefits of the contribution to the TBC project of FOSSEE. So first, let me tell you what FOSSEE is all about. As Kanan sir has already told you in the morning, FOSSEE stands for Free/Libre and Open Source Software for Education project. We promote the use of FLOSS tools in academia and research. Uh, FOSSEE has various activities. Also, it is a government-funded project by Ministry of Education, Government of India. We promote various open source activities, various softwares like OpenFOAM, R, DWSIM, Python, Scilab, etc. We have various activities which we do it to improve the documentation and provide good documentation for open source software, which is not available easily everywhere. So we have textbook companion project, we have lab migration, we have circuit simulation, we have flow sheeting project. Kanan sir was also talking about all this in the morning. So we have all these activities under FOSSEE, wherein even good documentations are available, and even you people can contribute to improve your knowledge. So anyone can contribute to these activities and can be benefited. So let me come to textbook companion. So what is textbook companion? The FOSSEE team here coordinates the coding of solved example of popular textbooks. So a faculty member at VIT Vishram had a question that will there be a copyright issue? So sir, we do have a solved example. We do solved example. We code the solved example and not the exercise example. We do not replicate the whole thing in Scilab, but we replicate the solved examples in Scilab. So that will not cause any copyright issue. So the students have to write the Scilab code for the solved examples of that standard textbook. Okay. So note that we do it for the solved example and not the exercise question. So we do not replicate the whole thing, but the solved examples of that particular textbook. So then it becomes a textbook companion of that corresponding textbook in Scilab. So why we are saying that it is an amazing resource? Most people do not use open source software as there is no good documentation available. They say that we don't know what to refer, what type of code will. We don't have good documentation in open source software. Good documentation is missing. So their textbook companion acts as an amazing resource. So the solution is the textbook companion. Students usually are good at coding and not in documentation. So we use the students' ability and tell them to write the code for the existing textbooks, and we get good documentation. So that improves our. This way, we are able to generate good documentation for Scilab, and let us see how we can use this resource. So if you want to use it online, uh, I think most of you know about Scilab textbook. You know about Scilab on cloud. So if you want to use the textbook companion online, you want to use the resource online. If you have good internet, you can use that. So we go to Scilab on cloud. It's getting opened. Yeah. So I am on cloud.scilab.in, and I have selected the main category as electrical. So these are the departments. So I've selected the electrical engineering, electronics, and the allied fields of electrical electronics field. And then I have selected the subcategory. Subcategory mostly has the subjects like digital communication, digital electronics, electromagnetics, microelectronics, all kind of stuff. So I'm going to select control systems. Then the books listed in control systems are 9 books. I'm going to select automatic control system by BC Core. And then I'm going to select the chapter. So it has 9 chapters. I'm going to select frequency domain analysis. I'm going to select the examples. So I'm going to select Bode plot, as most of you must be familiar. So I see the code here on the left hand side. The code appears. Then I click on execute. I get the Bode plot. You can even download this Bode plot. You can see the code is here, the output is here. You can actually download this chapter. You can download the code. You can download the example from what exactly it is. And this is an editable field. You can actually change few things here and get the output accordingly. Okay, so that's how Scilab on Cloud works. So if you want to use, so all textbook companions are hosted here, and you can select anything and your field, and you can select your subject, you can select your book, and then explore Scilab on Cloud. So I'll go back to my presentation.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, there is a question, like you said that once we click on this thing and we get this code, and now if I want to change it, we can change it here only, or we'll have to download it
there itself. No, there itself you can change it. Let me show how you can change it. It's actually interactive interface. I have to go to the browser again. Wait, I'll show you how to change it. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, suppose I make this as S+6. Can you see? This was 5.
Yes.
Earlier,
yes.
I made it 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to execute it again. I get it again. Okay. So you can change it here. You can download the graph also, and you can copy this is the code, this is the output. Okay, so it is an interactive interface. You can play around and use it in your class, etc. Okay.
So thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem. Thank you. Let me go back to my presentation. So yeah, I'll keep switching to browser and presentation, so please don't mind. So yeah, we have more than 75,000 examples coded in Scilab, which are available on Scilab on Cloud, and which are available online for you all to use it. So as a document, you can open your textbook, check the textbook examples as I showed you, and then you can use the related Scilab code for your course, for your study in your course, etc. So if you are a faculty member, just project the cloud example for your teaching when you're teaching, and then you can change the values as I showed you, and then you can make a student also learn the same way. So TBC is useful to 99% of 40 lakh engineering students a year. So when we talk about textbook companion, we also have an amazing feature of code search. So this will take you to the scilab.in code search feature. Okay, so you go to search, you go to scilab.in, you go to search, you go to TBC code search, and I type a command of Scilab, say PFSS, and search. So I get so many books which has this command as PFSS used in the code. So there are about 26, 30, there are so many books which has PFSS used in their code. So I can go on and see which book is suitable to me, and I can view that code, view this example. You can again go to this code and view this here on Scilab, right? So this is how you can use the codes as your research for learning, for teaching, etc. So TBC code search. So who all can contribute in this activity? So this is all about TBC being a amazing resource for learning, for teaching, etc. Now, if you want to contribute to the project, that how you can contribute, who all can contribute. So I'm going to talk about that. So any student, any faculty member or researcher who knows Scilab, like you are taking a training on Scilab right now. Now, at the end of the 3 days, you will have a basic knowledge of Scilab. You can contribute to the project, definitely. So what is the next step which you have to do to contribute? So there is a proposal form. I'll go back to the browser. Yeah. So you go to scilab.in. Here is scilab.in. And you go to textbook companion project. So scilab.in is a FOSSEE Scilab website. So scilab.org is Atom's website. Scilab.in is our website. So you go to scilab.in, click on textbook companion project. So you'll have the details of all what you have to do. The procedure is being explained. Everything is explained herein, that what are the terms and conditions, how you need to, the step-by-step procedure, how to contribute to this activity is there. So I'll tell you the first step. The first step is a book proposal. You need to propose a book. So you go to book proposal, and when you click here you'll get a form. So you can propose a book, you can fill up that form and propose the book. There are few guidelines which we enforce while coding Scilab textbook companion. So you need to go through all this and then start preparing for contribution to textbook companion project. Yeah. So once you propose, you give us the proposal that you want to code so and so book in Scilab. We'll get a notification, and we'll check whether that book is present, whether that good book is good enough. You need to have 80 examples in that book to be coded in Scilab. So if that book is good enough, then we approve that proposal, and you have to upload the code on our interface. Then we shall review, and there'll be a review once, twice, and there'll be a chain of email communication with the corrections. And then once the book is error free, we mark it as completed, and this shall appear in the completed list. I'll show that list again to you. And then yeah, so we have a completed list category here. So we have around 626 books which are coded in Scilab. You can see the name of the contributor. You can see name of the college. You can see the book along with the publisher name, and right. We also have the categories here. You can filter it out according to your field, according to your subject. Okay. When you click on this, right, you can download all the solved examples in this book. You can view the PDF of all the codes there in this book. I'll show you one of the PDF if I can open. So there is list of codes. These are Scilab codes which that person, which the contributor has coded. There is a PDF of this. You can download this as I did this. You can actually download the code. This will download the zip file. If you don't want to download the whole book, the whole PDF, you can select the chapter. You can select the chapter and download. If you don't want to download the whole chapter, you can select that particular example of that particular chapter and then download, right? So isn't this amazing? So this actually gives you good learning, good resource to teach the students. And in fact, many 626 books is a large number. Many people have already benefited, and we give you the web recognition link also. So let me talk about the benefits you get. Yeah. So benefits is we give e-certificate to all the contributors saying that the contributor has coded so much this book and so many examples. We also provide the web page for the recognition to all the contributors. So you saw that there was a book, there was the contributor name, and there was the institution name in the completed list of the books. So we give that web page link. It is always available for lifetime for that contributor, so they can use that for their higher studies, for their higher jobs, saying that, see, I have done so and so work and it is hosted by FOSSEE on the website. So that link is very useful to students. So it displays the name of the contributor with his or her work done on the FOSSEE website. You can use this for applying for jobs and higher studies. So if you have any queries related to textbook companion, please write to us at textbook@scilab.in. So thank you. I'll stop share. I can take the questions later after Rashmi presents. So Rashmi, you can explain about lab migration and then we'll take up questions.
Yes. Let me share my screen. So, hi everyone, myself Rashmi, and I am part of Scilab team since last 3 years. So just now we also what is textbook companion and its benefits. Now we are going to look at one more such activity called lab migration. So what is lab migration? There are many such institutes that use proprietary software in their laboratories, such as MATLAB, which is an expensive one. So if you are also one of them and wish to migrate your lab, then we will help you. FOSSEE provides you a platform where you can migrate your research and educational labs that use the proprietary software to Scilab. Through this project, when you migrate your lab, many people get benefited. Say your institute itself, because now they do not have to spend money on purchasing that software. So also when you migrate your lab, you get the recognition on our website, you get the certificate, and your students can also learn and understand the importance of the open source software. So these benefits are similar to what we saw for the TBC. So with the help of this activity, 97 labs are already migrated and 33 labs are in progress. Now I'll tell you how exactly you'll get benefited by this activity. So as I said, there are about 97 labs that are already migrated to Scilab. You can go through the experiments that have been listed under the other completed labs, and then if your lab also contains the same experiments as they are listed under the other completed labs, then you can easily make use of their solutions. In which case, you just have to download the solution which is already available. Now let me show you how it's done. So for that, I'll click on this particular link. The same link can be found out by going to scilab.in page, and on left hand side, find the completed labs tab. Okay. So as you can see here, these are the institutes. They have migrated their labs and got the recognition, right? So there are about, there are total 97 labs that have actually migrated their labs to Scilab using this particular platform. Okay, so these are different institutes, and they have done it for their different labs. These are different subjects. So let me click on one such lab. Let's say I click on serial number 94, the digital signal processing lab. So as you can see here, these are the details of the proposer who has proposed the lab, and these are the details of the solution providers. Okay, so now let's say if you want to download their lab, then what you can do is simply click on this download lab solution. Okay, but if you want to see what they have, how they have coded in Scilab, then you can even download the PDF file. So let me just click on this download PDF of lab solutions link. So as you can see here, this is the lab, that is digital signal processing lab. This lab was proposed by Professor K. Manohar. These are the details, and the solution was provided by Professor Manohar itself. Inside this lab, there are about 12 experiments that they have migrated using this particular platform. Let me click on the second experiment. So this is the name of the experiment, that is frequency response of a system. Okay, so this is the code for that particular experiment. This is the Scilab code, and this is the output. Okay, so this way the PDF can be used. Suppose now if I want to download one specific experiment of a particular lab, so that can also be done as we have seen for TBC. Let me switch back to the download codes page. I'll click on the title of the lab drop down. Let's say I select Digital Signal Processing Lab by R. Senthil Kumar. These are the details. And now if I'm interested only in first experiment, what I'll do is I'll click on the title of the experiment drop down. I'll select the first experiment and download the experiment. But now let's say I specifically want to download the first subpart of this particular experiment. How will I do that? Click on the solution drop down, select the first subpart of this particular experiment, and either you click on download solution or over here on the SC file link. The solution will get downloaded, and then you can make use of these solutions and study how they have coded in Scilab. Okay, so this way you can make use of completed labs in your syllabus or for self-learning. And the beauty of this thing is you do not have to log into the scilab.in. See, I haven't logged in. Everything is available for free here. Correct. The colleges that belong to the same university generally have the same syllabus. So let us say your college belongs to a Mumbai university, and out of the list of completed labs, some other college also belongs to a Mumbai university. Then you can check their lab and download the Scilab code and use them in your syllabus. So this way your time and energy will get saved. So as I said, there are total 33 labs that are in progress. I'll click on this link. The same link can be found out by going to scilab.in under the lab migration project tab, and then click on labs in progress. So currently 33 labs are in progress. They are currently migrating their lab. It is in progress. Okay, so yeah, so now let's say suppose if the experiment of your interest is not there under the completed labs, what will you do in that case? For that, we recommend you make a lab migration proposal, propose a new lab and get it migrated using this particular platform. For that, what you have to do is you have to make a lab migration proposal, but this proposal is to be made only by the faculty member. So what are the steps? Go to scilab.in, enter your credentials, fill in the lab migration proposal form and submit it. So let us go to this particular link. So I'll click on login. I've already entered my credentials here. And now what I will do is to make the lab migration proposal, I'll go to the lab migration project tab, and under that tab, find the lab migration proposal form. Okay. Then you have to enter your personal details, the information which is required over here. And then also you have to upload the PDF of your syllabus. Why it is required? Because we also want to make sure that these labs are there in your syllabus. Then you have to enter the title of your lab. Then you have to enter the title of the experiment. If you notice that through this activity, you at least have to migrate, there should be at least 5 experiments in the lab. Okay. To migrate your lab, there should be minimum 5 labs in your minimum 5 experiments in your lab. But we have given you an option to upload maximum 15 labs, 15 experiments. Once you fill in the form successfully, click on submit. Okay, so once everything else is done, you have filled the proposal form, submitted it. Now, after this stage, suppose if you know the solution of the experiments, if you know the solution, then what you can do is code the experiments in Scilab and upload them on the interface and get it approved by us. But in case if you don't know the solution, then what will you do is you do not have to worry. Someone from the Scilab community will help you out and code the solutions for you. And then you have to get your lab approved by us. Okay. So now next benefit is, suppose if you do not wish to migrate any lab but still wish to contribute to this activity as a Scilab enthusiast or a student, you can do that by becoming a solution provider and help others to migrate their labs. For that, you click on this link, the lab migration solve form link, and let me click on it. So the same link can be found out by going to scilab.in page. Under the lab migration project tab, find the lab migration solve. Okay, so currently there are total 3 labs to which you can provide a solution. You have to click on apply button given in front of that respective lab, fill the form, submitted. Okay, so in short, so to summarize this activity, this is not only limited to the college professors, students or any Scilab enthusiast can also take part in it by becoming a solution provider and get a certificate, as we told you before, and also you get the recognition on our webpage. So that's all about Scilab lab migration activity, and I end the session. If you have any queries related to this activity, you can get back to us at contact@scilab.in. And thank you, everyone. So if there are any queries, I'm happy to take it.
Yes, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Yes.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, as you said that we can propose a lab migration, and then then it is not, if I am proposing a lab migration, so then it is not necessary that I should know the solution. Somebody else can provide the solution.
Yes, definitely. Yes,
Means
someone else will code the solutions for you.
Okay, so means it is just proposal. So means I can propose that I want this lab to be migrated, but I don't know the solutions.
Correct.
And in case I know the solutions, I want to provide the solutions as well, then I need to fill both the forms.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Are there any other queries regarding this?
Rashmi, we can take the queries on the chat. We have the other guests waiting and we are already, I think, 7-8 minutes behind. So, yeah. So if you have any questions related to textbook companion or lab migration, please ask us on the chat, or we have given you the email ID. I'll again put the email IDs on the chat box so you can mail us and ask the queries.
Thank you, everyone.